Okay, peace and blessings. Namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I prepared you. I said that I was getting ready to ante up on teaching now because we're entering in this phase where we as a collective need to understand certain states of consciousness so that we can go through our ascensions, okay? Make this journey a lot smoother, but more importantly, we're trying to really manifest what's going on in our earth realms, this new earth and what we're trying to bring forth, okay? Now, many of us are already on the journey. Some of us are still kind of behind. And these 14 states of evolutionary consciousness should pinpoint to you where you actually are, okay? And these are coming from the principles of Hinduism. I am what they consider a universal being or universal teacher. So therefore, I have studied many of the religious systems, and I just kind of brought out what was pertinent still to humanity versus what had to be like an older system, okay? But the certain things that are universal principles that don't go anywhere, this is important for you to understand. I'm also going to put this out there that with this particular presentation, I'm only going to be going through the 14 states of evolutionary consciousness and what they mean. But there will be an extended version that I'll put up on my Patreon probably by this weekend that's going to help you actually go through the states, okay? What you need to do, how you need to reframe your thinking when you're approaching these situations in your life that will also allow you to pass the journey, okay? Keep ascending, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going until you actually get into that state of sovereign divinity. And once you get into that state of sovereign divinity, your manifestations are going to go smoothly. I'm telling you that. But it's not going to go anywhere if you're in these lower states, okay? So let's get rid of that first. Okay, so let's go through what we're getting ready to do. Okay. All right, so the purpose of this study, I'm going to expand this a little bit for you guys. Number one, understanding sovereign divinity, removing the illusion of material world, reaching the Dharma state, cosmic law and righteousness, keys to unlocking manifesting power and ascending to higher dimensions. But we need to understand what these higher dimensions are. So let's go ahead and start with the most basic of principles. We have the Kabbalah tree. I might have to shrink this down a little bit so you can see the entire tree. Okay. This Kabbalah tree deals with microcosm versus the macrocosm, okay? The upper worlds versus the lower worlds. If you actually look at the tree, you can see that here's the principles here of the upper worlds, and below it is the lower worlds. This is the as above, so below. This is the shadow realm. This is the shadow state of consciousness, okay? And I'm going to be talking about each one of these states of consciousness, but I'm doing it in descending order so that you can understand how far we've fallen, okay, and what we're really trying to do to get back up, all right? Now, if you actually look at the shape, it kind of resembles a body, but look what's in the heart center. You see, that principle is called Da'at. Okay, this part right here, represented by the six-pointed star. Da'at is the perfect level of understanding. It is the child, the offspring of Banah and Keter. Okay, and what that is knowledge and wisdom that comes together and brings the and it sits right in the heart chakra. Okay, so many ascended masters came with this type of knowledge and type of teaching because they were trying to teach you how to get out of these worlds. All right, so when we're talking about worlds, we're really talking about realms or states of consciousness. Okay, so what we have is with the 7 upper worlds. We have the Satya, the Topa, the Jhana, the Mahara, Svar, Brvar, Bur. And then the 7 lower worlds we have Atala, Vitalia, Satala, Talatala, which is a very interesting one. We'll get to that later. Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. All right. These are the 7 lower worlds, or 7 lower states of consciousness. Now, when I go through these, you should be able to identify where you fit and what your blockages are. All right? Let's keep it going. Roll. Okay. So let's start with the Loka. Can y'all see that? Satya Loka. All right. The Satya Loka is the abode of truth, or samadhi, the highest state of conscious awareness, and the realm in which Atma and Brahma are reunited eternally. You might know this as through other terminology. Let's say source, okay? Let's say Ein Sof. Let's say that this is the realm where humanity or in all consciousness rises all the way back to become one with source again. But this is an evolutionary process. This is not something that you can just pray your way through or manifest your way through. You're going to have to put in the work. And what I mean by putting your work is understanding the states, understanding the cosmic laws, understanding universal principles, understanding who you are, understanding what source is. Okay, and if you don't even have these basic principles, it's going to be very difficult for you. I wish there was a way to make this bigger. Can I scroll this over a little bit so you can see it? That's the state of being that we want to be in. You see it? Okay, going right back to the Ein Sof, where every emanation came forth. When we descend down the ladder of consciousness, entering into the realm of chaos, and some of us even going lower than that, okay, then we're all striving to make our way all the way back up. All right, so let's go. Now, the second one is considered Topa Loca. Can y'all see this okay? Let me move this a little bit. Okay, and let's move this over. Okay, the Topa Loca is a pure state of consciousness. From this state, it is easy to access Sutalaloka if you are already fully enlightened, but need a conscious awareness in everyday life on earth. So this is where we're talking about incarnations. Okay, these are beings or consciousness that already have ascended, already reached the enlightened state. Okay, but they may decide to incarnate back here on this earth. And the reason why they're incarnating back on this earth is because they're still going through the experience. They're still going through the experiences so that they can better understand the realms, better expand it, to perfect it, in other words. So you'll see a lot of beings deal with emanations like this, like even with this picture here. Some say this is Vishnu and all of his incarnations for each and every realm of existence or each and every eon. Okay, they might come back here. They want to perfect the universe. They need to experience what is right and what is wrong. Also, during this state, a lot of ascended masters, or no, they're not ascended masters, a lot of the creator beings, okay, who have come up with a lot of laws or statutes or commandments, they may incarnate back on this earth to see how it is working, to see if these statutes, these commandments are actually beneficial, to see if they're easy to uphold or not. And if they are not, then they go back to their creator stance and then they try to revamp it, okay, freeing humanity. So these are consciousness that are steady, consistently trying to perfect themselves and also their walks, okay? We also have, okay, I'm going to have to shrink this again a bit, okay. Jhana Loka, okay, this is a level of illumination known as God consciousness. And people who reach this level today are typically known as mystics, but they're great healers, spiritual teachers, or you can consider them ascended masters. You see the energy that is coming from his hands, okay? People who reach this state of consciousness know how to harness chi energy. When y'all see me doing mudras a lot, okay, this is from this state of consciousness. This is how we heal. This is how we can bring forth information. We pull it from the cosmos. We harness it through our bodies. We can heal. We can teach. We can channel from within. Okay, and these, ascended masters, they also have the ability to manifest very, very easily because they understand how the universe works, okay? And this is also a high level of consciousness. Okay, Mahara Loka. This is the realm of consciousness that can be accessed by the great mythological rishis such as Brigu Muni or Markandeya. They have an incredible depth of understanding and can be considered divas or demigods. So in other words to you, we're talking about the celestial beings now. We're talking about the Elohim, all right? And these are the ones that bring forth the sages. You can also have access to a lot of the Akashic records when you're in this state. It should be easy to access from you. It should be easy for you to talk to these beings. All right. But when you can't get there until you have actually gone through the work. Okay. And typically this happens during your deep state of meditation or sleep. Okay. Those of you who have the ability to astral travel or astral project, you can get there as well. But it takes a lot of discipline to get there. Okay. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of practice, breathing, understanding the body, understanding chi, understanding the cosmos. Okay. Now, we also have, let's move this over a little bit so y'all can see it. Okay. Bar Loca. Now, when I'm saying Loca, I'm talking about realms. Remember this, or worlds. In Hindu myth, this realm is inhabited by the 33 Vedic gods who represent individuals that have mastered their emotions and have no attachments in the physical realm. In Western traditions, this is the realm known as heaven, and in Islam, it is called Jannat. Here you find inner peace. Now, remember, we have told you, okay, before, when it comes down to heaven and hell, this is a state of being. It's a mindset. And if you understand that you are creating your reality, you can create either a heaven or a hell for yourself. And your entire world will reflect that which is going on to you. Going on with you, sorry. So your world might not look like mine at all. Okay, or somebody else's, vice versa. And what you're perceiving to be a hell might be a heaven to somebody else, because it's all about perspective. Remember, truth, right, is relative, right? And all truths are only half truths, right? So when we find that inner peace, we're not going around upset. You know, we're not trying to fight with everybody. We're not pointing fingers at everything. You know, we have learned how to go within and master ourselves. Okay. And so we realize now that we can continually be in a state of peace no matter what. Why? Because we have detached. Okay, we have no earthly attachments. So you can't throw a being of enlightenment out of whack because they lose their car, or because they lose their house, or because they lose a lover, or they lose a friend. Okay, we understand that this is all part of the journey. We understand that this is part of the process. Okay, so we have inner peace regardless, because we understand that the material world is phony. All right. So you want to get to this state where your reality is now your heaven, come hell or high water. All right. You want to be able to ride in that peace, and you can only do that inwardly. And once you have learned the art of detachment from this realm. All right. Let's keep going. I could talk all day about that one. I'm going to tell you that. Excuse me. Okay. Bar Loca. Okay, are described. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll this over just a little bit. Okay. The Bar Loca are described as being born in the earthly realm, but symbolically represent people that have found contentment and fulfillment in their life, but also vibrate at a higher frequency and have a higher state of conscious awareness. Now, this is what I consider the 5D. People are so excited about 5D, okay, because the earth is supposed to be going from 3D to 5D, but I'm here to tell you that 5D should not be the cap, okay? 5D is the minimum that we can do. All right, there are beings here that vibrate on a way higher level than 5D. But you'll know that you have reached 5D consciousness when you have discovered your purpose now. Okay, so it's like, okay, if things have been stripped from you, you're having to start over, but you're in a state of peace and contentment and higher frequency because you've discovered your purpose. And once you've discovered your purpose, it's no longer an inner conflict. It's no longer a fight with the world, because once one discovers their own purpose, now they use that purpose to go ahead and reshape the world. They use their gifts. They use what their purpose is to manifest the new earth. Okay. So we're no longer pointing fingers at everybody. We're no longer blaming anybody for anything. We found ourselves. Okay. I found that my true purpose was going to be a teacher or a healer. Okay. So if that is the case, now I have to formulate a strategy on how what I can bring to society benefits the collective as a whole. So I don't have time to be in a vein of lower consciousness. I don't have time to be in a vein of blaming or angry or trying to fight for something or trying to hold on to something. You know what I mean? That right there becomes a distraction to my purpose. I've discovered myself. You've discovered yourself. So now it's like, okay, let's go. Okay, I'm going to use my purpose to do what is best and what is necessary to raise the consciousness of this planet. All right, to start changing this realm, to start changing this world. And once you get there, you will find that peace again. Okay, you'll find peace, you'll find fulfillment, and you'll know exactly what it is that you're contributing. All right, so if you're still in the 3D realm, you're not going to get this. You're still going to be holding on to things. You're still going to be complaining about things. You're still going to be worried about what you can't keep or what it is that you've lost. Your mind is not going to be how to help the collective. All right. If you're really trying to help humanity and you're trying to help the collective, you need to help people discover themselves so that they can use these talents to benefit humanity as a whole, and they can start manifesting as a collective. But we can't do this waiting around for something else to happen. You have to be the change. You have to discover it. Okay. You have to get into that 5D place. Okay. And for many of you, even higher than that. All right. 5D, it's good. It's good to get from 3D to 5D, but babies, honey, we got way higher levels of consciousness than that. That's the minimum for you. Always strive. Always strive for a higher truth. Always strive to be the best version of yourself. Okay? Don't let anybody distract you from that. It's way too many distractions out here. Okay? Then we also have the Bar Loca. Okay, this is the last of the 7 states of the upper worlds. Okay, and the Bar Loca. Let me see if I can pull this all over here so you can see it. Okay, see that man carrying materialism on his back? See how it is bound? Okay. This is because the Bar Loca is the earthly realm and is the state of consciousness for many, many people, awakened or otherwise. Attachments to material possessions or physical needs are still present, but the initiate is aware of themselves and others. This is 3D. This is your 3D level states of consciousness. This is the consumerism. This is the materialism. This is the realm of matter, what you can see, what you can taste, what you can feel, what you can touch. Okay, this becomes real to you when you're in 3D states of consciousness. So anything that is trying to manifest has to manifest in this 3D states of consciousness. What are you actually building your happiness upon? All right. Is it material things or what you can get? You know, what you can gain from others? Okay. How are you measuring your success? Are you measuring your success by your bank account? Are you measuring your success by how much jewelry, clothes, your house, your car? Is that what you consider successful? If you're in a 3D state of mind, then that's exactly what you're going to consider successful. Okay. But if you're in a higher state of consciousness, your success comes with your influence, your power, your transformative energy. Okay, the way you reach people, the way you teach people, the way you inspire others to grow. Okay, every single life that you change, that becomes successful to you. All right, you become a success when you're actually having the ability to see the world around you manifest based off of the way that you think, the way that you process information. Okay, so this is the lowest realm. This is the 3D. Okay, before we start getting into the real lower states of consciousness, where we are kind of in the 3D vein of the earth realm right now. Okay, understand what success really is. All right, influencing people. If I was the first to lock my hair, and then I turned around the following month and 20 other women did it, I am successful. Okay? This is what I'm talking to you about. It's all the way that you think. Let's go here. See, the 7 states or the lower states of consciousness. All right. This is the stuff that gets everybody trapped. Okay, we don't want to be trapped. We want to get out of here. The lower realms are lesser states of consciousness, whereas the highest inhabitants enjoy an opulent life of materialism, but have very little spiritual insight. The realms are described in the Puranas as being dark planets devoid of sunlight, which is symbolic for enlightenment. We just went through this. Yes, we just went through this and we just understood it. That when you are manifesting, or when you are measuring who you are based off of materialism or what it is that you can get, you are operating in a lower state of consciousness. You're not going to be able to manifest. You're not going to be able to change, okay, anything. Okay, your reality is going to be a constant hell. Let's think about these things, okay? If materialism is what drives you, will you ever have enough? We'll go into that a little bit later. Let's just keep going. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get us there. We're going to get there together. Just pay attention. Pay attention. Okay, here we go. We're going to the Underworld Realms, right? Oh, boy. Did I skip one? Oh, no. Okay, we're going right here. Atalaloka. All right, now, this realm is ruled by Bala, who created 3 types of women: self-willed, lustful, and whorish. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. Bala is the son of Maya, which to the ancient scribes represents the world of delusion, where the truth of reality is buried beneath conscious awareness. The women is symbolic, okay? So don't look at it as just being women, because I'm telling you now, there are masculine energies that operate exactly like this. Okay, and they will take your souls too, so don't get it twisted. All right, so the women, symbolic of emotions that conjure cravings, overcome the mind, and make us selfish, horny, and greedy. Individuals simply are not aware. It is the ego that drives their desires. Watch out for these traps, honeys. Watch out for these traps. And when we're just talking about lustful desires and things like that, or sexuality, this can become a bondage for your soul. Okay, you need to get out of this state. I'm not telling you that there's anything wrong with sex. Who doesn't enjoy it? All right, I enjoy it. Everybody enjoys it. It's part of relating. It's part of intimacy. Okay. But the more you spread yourself around, the more fragmented your soul becomes. Okay. And not only that, the more negative attachments come to you. You get to a point where you can't see anything higher than that is driven of your own flesh. So now your discernment is gone. Okay. You can't raise to higher levels of consciousness. You're driven by that same lower nature over and over and over again. Let's just keep going, darlings. Don't get mad at me. Sorry, guys. All right. Vitaliloka. The inhabitants of Vitalia live in a state of ignorance. They are typically successful people, but feel immune to spiritual development to the extent that they do not believe it even exists. Although they are aware of the demons that dwell in their own consciousness, they ignore them because they think they are too good to make mistakes. I think that this one right here is self-explanatory. We all know who have run across somebody like this, right? Okay? They're successful and they have measured their success along with their relationship to the divine, almost to the point where they're ignorant and blinded. So when they say, oh, I am wealthy, I'm wealthy. Remember what it said in the Bible? They didn't even know they had wealth and all of these things. They didn't know that they was naked and wretched and poor. That is what Master Teacher Yeshua taught us. Okay? And this is why I love this. I love that Master Teacher. All right. I love that Shiva Master Teacher too. I love a lot of Master Teachers, but they got it. And they came here to explain to you how you can rightfully achieve these things. But you have to go through the journey. You have to understand material versus spiritual. All right. Now, people who remain willfully ignorant, there's nothing that you can do for them. They're going to have to grow up for themselves. All right. There's nothing, but if you continue to attach yourselves to them, they will take you down with them. Pay attention. Pay attention, please. Okay. We also have Sutalaloka. All right. Now here's where they start really getting interesting. Let me see if I can pull this over a little bit. I swear this is difficult. Okay. All right, Sutalaloka. The planet Sutal is ruled by the benevolent King Bali Maharaj, chief of the Asuras. The asuras are demons that fight against the devas and gods. In this realm, people are able to learn from their mistakes. Hence, we find Bali being blessed by Lord Vishnu. Bali is equivalent to Satan in Western traditions. Satan, or Lucifer, the light bringer, represents fallen man that has weaknesses but is able to overcome them by vowing to improve whenever they make a mistake. Okay, remember when I talked to you guys about the world of duality and polarity, right? And how one exists with the other, the whole yin and yang concept. And that we start to graduate from the terms of good and evil, and we start to look at things as what is agreeable to humanity and what is disagreeable to humanity. Everything has its place, right? In the balance of the universe. So even those who are trapped in negativity still have the ability to ascend past it because they are going through trials or obstacles or testing. And this is what typically the negative polarity is designed to do. If you start to get harassed, or things start falling apart, or anything like that, where you're finding that you can't manifest, you can't move, you can't grow, and it's just becoming a mess for you, okay? Chances are you are dealing with some of this type of energy that is pushing you to the light, all right? Giving you the opportunity to see where you are. If you are brave enough to face yourself, if you are brave enough to face your duality, if you are brave enough to face your shadow, then you can stand and see where you are in this process. And it should be designed to elevate you upwards, okay? Stop looking at everything that happens to you negative as a curse. All right. Some things are happening to you negative to push you to your highest self. All right. But again, this is mental alchemy. It all depends on how you relate to these situations. Let's keep going, please. I can talk about that one all day too. Okay. Okay. We find a lot of people in this state right here. Talaloka. The world of Talatala is the realm of the sorcerer, Maya, which literally means illusion. The inhabitants of this realm, live in a state of consciousness where the truth of reality is veiled because it's beyond their scope of understanding. Whereas the people in the higher realms and the lower worlds choose to ignore the illusion, people that live in Talatala state of conscious awareness are so attached to the idea of individualism that they believe every experience they have is the same for everybody. As a consequence, they become opinionated, argumentative, and obstinate. How many people have we run across like this? Let's think about it, okay? How many people, if you know somebody that's going through something and they're assuming everybody, well, if it's happening to me, then it's happening to everybody. That's not the case, okay? But if you think that that is the case, then anytime there is an opposing, if there's opposition or an opposing argument or opposing point of view, you're going to fight against it because it doesn't fit in your narrative or your reality, you see? But if we understand the law of mentalism, we are all formulating our own reality. So what is going on with you is not going on with me. It might not be going on with my cousin, or might not be going on with people in the West, or might not be going on with people in the East. But the people that live in this state of consciousness assume that because whatever's going on with them, that's what they can see as tangible evidence. So therefore, you saying something in opposition can't be right. You're the liar, or you're in a delusion, or an illusion. Do you understand? And we know people like this, and we want to try to share our experiences with them so that they understand that everybody's not in a fallen state. Right? Everybody's not in misery. Everybody's not in burdens. Okay? So if you find out that other people are living rich life, or they're in a state of peace, or everything is working for them, the question now should be, well, damn, how did you get there? That's how a humble person reacts, right? I want to know why you're in a state of peace while I'm going through it. What did you do to get there? Okay? And if you can teach me, I would be blessed and honored to receive that from you, because now I'm going to teach the next person. Each one teach one. All right? This is how we grow as a collective. Let's keep it moving. Okay. Okay. Maha talaloka. I know you want to sing La Vida Loca, right? Maha talalokum. The mythical realm of Mahatala is inhabited by the Nagas, seven-headed serpents, some of whom were beautiful princesses that would appear from the underground to abduct handsome men. Excuse me. The symbolic meaning here is that when you are unable to control your cravings and fall for temptation, even though the voice in your head from the higher realms is telling you not to do it, overcoming emotions and craving in these situations enable you to raise spiritual awareness, which is why we also find the Nagas in Hindu iconography hovering above the heads of the gods. The story reciting the birth of Krishna, in which a serpent protects the baby from the rain, gives us insight, revealing the Nagas are a way to reach understanding by being aware of our emotions and overcoming them. I told you before, we don't void our emotions. Okay? We don't bury our emotions. We don't act like they exist. They don't exist. Okay? If you're getting angry, be angry. All right? But don't stay in that state. Once you're going through any type of emotion, what you need to be thinking of is why that emotion exists. What is the trigger behind it? Okay? So that the next time you might face the same hardship, that same emotion may not manifest. But there are those who cannot control their emotions. They can't, okay? And you will see that play out too. You ever dealt with people who are abusive in family? You ever had abusive parents or abusive relationships? Okay? People fighting all the time. These are people that have not had the ability to center and control their emotional state. Once again, I'm not saying you can't have emotions. I get angry just like everybody else, but once I go through the process of identifying why it is that I am angry, I guarantee you the next time that same situation comes around, I won't be angry again. I'll find something else new to be angry at, but it won't be the same thing over and over and over again. All right. So we have to learn how to control our emotions, our mental states. We have to learn how to be balanced with these things. Okay. I can stand outside, my car get towed, and I'm like, I don't have any money. All right, fine. Maybe I couldn't afford it anyway. Let me scrape up some cash and buy a used one instead. Mental alchemy. All right. Understanding how to move from one state of consciousness to the next. We're going to keep going. Rasatala Ooh. Okay. Cruel demons rule the realm of Rasatala and are in direct conflict with the gods. This is what they say anyway. This is a state of consciousness whereby individuals have little to no control over their actions and do what they want, whether it is right or wrong. You will see this realm in constantly misbehaved children and adults who are aware they are doing wrong but don't care. You can't help somebody that knows that they're doing wrong, but really has no regards. These people will not be able to make it to the next level, okay? It is better for you to walk away from them. You can only lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. If they have sunk into a place so low where they're pretty much beyond redemption emotionally, spiritually, and they're doing whatever they want and they think that it's okay, they will quickly find out that the world that they are trying to manifest in the 5D or the new earth is quickly going to become the hell that they live in. Okay? I will say this again. Heaven and hell are realms, states of consciousness. People that continually do whatever they want without any regards. They are manifesting others that are doing the exact same thing. We'll get into that on Patreon. Let's keep moving. This is the last one. Atalaloka. Y'all remember The Exorcist, right? I watched that movie when I was a kid. Was terrified over it, for a little bit. And then slowly but surely kind of became desensitized. It happens, right? Atalaloka. Here we find the lowest realm of consciousness before an individual ventures into a state of hell. Mental, right? The inhabitants here are filled with hatred, malice, and anger. Yet, at this point, it is not too late to learn from mistakes and misery. What we're still trying to say to you guys is, you are never beyond redemption. Okay, I don't care how low you can typically go. I don't care if you're in this state of hatred, malice, jealousy, envy, and you know people like this. They don't have anything good to say about anybody. Okay, you can bring out the most beautiful package bouquet. You can give them a silver platter with golden roses on it, and they will still find something wrong with it. Okay, and typically these type of people, they have no inner peace, they have no inner joy, they have no love. But even in this case, where the whole mental realm, the spiritual realm, is consumed by darkness, consumed by the shadow, there's still an opportunity for them. It's still an opportunity to grow if you can face who you are and get out of the denial that that's not me, that's that person, that's this person, that's that person. No, it's you. If everything around you is reflecting you, then it's time to stand in the mirror. Because what it is that you are putting out and broadcasting in the universe should be returning back to you. So what is actually returning back to you? You have to pay attention to your life. Again, what is triggering these type of emotions? What's wrong? Okay? Face the shadow. Be brave. It's time to be brave. Okay. That's all I have for you guys. Like I said, I'm going to do an extended version of this. I'll make the announcement, okay, very shortly. We are definitely moving, okay? We're already in our age. There's miracles that are happening every single day. But if you're in one of these lower states of consciousness, you're not going to be able to identify them. You're not going to be able to understand it. You're not going to be able to manifest anything different. So therefore, when people are telling you that they're living their best life, or they're in a state of peace, or they're not being bothered, you're not going to believe it. Because your life has now reflected your hell. Okay? But once again, it's not too late for any of us. It's not. I don't care what you've done. I don't care how low you think you've gone. I don't care what you have allowed to enter into your realm of existence. There's always hope. There's always source. There's always higher levels of consciousness. Remember? Oh, that's not that one. Nope. This one. Remember these. Remember these states. These higher states. Okay? These higher states should be what we are striving to be in our own vein. Okay? In our own areas of expertise. And in some of these higher states, you have beings. You have consciousness that is willing to help you understand things. I am grateful for my spirit team. I am grateful for the ascended masters who walked this path before us and showed us how to get out of this. And lastly, but not sure, I am grateful for you. I am Sophie. I love you all. Goodbye.